Krunchy. Stays crunchy. And milk.
Now, like a week from now, when Dan ain't here, and that's assuming I make a show, y'all remember it's because of the NFL draft, which him and his buddies go. Y'all going to the house, or y'all going to go eat somewhere?
I have no idea if anyone's doing anything. I asked the other day because the last couple of years, like my one buddy, like would have people over.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got like a 1-year-old now, and so I asked in the group chat the other day, like if he was doing anything, and he didn't reply. But I guess he was out for Indians opening day.
Okay.
And
that team doesn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. It's just not that big of a deal, but it was a Guardians opener, whatever.
It was because you didn't do it with malice or intent that it's not a big deal. And it's nothing to get hype over, baby. It's all good. You were one of the people who just refused to call them the guards. You said,
I don't refuse to do anything.
You have called them what they were called before this for all of your life until very recently. You'll make that mistake from time to time. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. I have seen some logos for that people have made, like on the artist formerly known as Twitter, and some of them are pretty good. Like I wouldn't mind them changing the logos just away from that stupid ass C.
I like a block C, but it's okay if you don't.
It's just basic. It's just a letter. There's no there's no frills to it. It's just like a scripted C.
It is.
I mean, like Wahoo at least like has like something about him.
Racism. That's what it was. If you're wondering what it was racism.
But like he had it. Like there was substance there.
Racist.
And now we're just like, here's a letter. And it's not even like a Pizzazz letter. It's just like here's a Red Sea.
Holy smokes. Oh my god.
But yes, we currently like don't have any like concrete plans. I imagine someone will probably do something.
Yeah.
So I'll probably be going somewhere between now and then. And if worst comes to worst, I'll just watch it at home here by myself. I don't care. But like the Browns having like the second pick in goddamn. I jammed my ankle when I like came over here to like set up for the show.
Yeah.
And it's fucking killing me. It's just one of those things where like I didn't even do anything crazy. Like I literally just like stepped funny, and now this shit hurts like a son of a bitch.
As we discussed last week, this is age. Just the most ignorant shit. Like, oh my god, like, what happened? I got out of the bed at an angle, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I feel like if I could pop it, it'd be all right. But like, yeah, man, like it hurts. But I'll soldier on for the people.
Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like the Browns having the second pick in the draft, and then like all the talk of them maybe trading back up in the first round to try and scoop up a quarterback or something. I'd like to watch that. The last couple of years when the Browns didn't have a first round pick, like I didn't really care as much. Like, I don't care about watching everyone's picks necessarily, but if the Browns are involved, then I have more interest to watch. Like I did go to my buddies last year, but like I was just there to hang out. I didn't really like care so much about who was picking who. And that part of that too is like I haven't been watching college football for the last couple of years. Like I just stopped caring.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I've probably talked about this on the show before, but it's because of the transfer portal.
Yeah.
And like I'm not. It's weird. Like I understand that it's beneficial to these athletes to make as much money off of their name and likeness as they can, because a lot of them aren't guaranteed a professional career. With that being said, it does kind of ruin the game for me a bit when they can all just move around all willy-nilly.
Mm-hmm.
But, I understand it's their benefit. I just, like, I don't know, it's not as enjoyable for me knowing that like, oh man, this kid's going to be here for the next couple of years. Like we get to watch him grow and be a star and all that. It's just like, all right, well, we bought him for this year, who's going to pay for him next year? And, it's not as exciting to me like that. It's the same thing with professional sports too. Like, I understand that you want the best for people and their ability to like move about how they so choose and decide where they work and, you know, get paid as much as they can, all that. That's to their benefit. But like, I root for the franchise. I don't root for the player necessarily. You know, like, I have players that have been my favorite players and players I enjoy watching play, but like, I don't have any ill will towards LeBron, but like, LeBron don't play here anymore.
Yeah.
Or, like, I didn't follow LeBron to Los Angeles. Like, my heart stayed here in Cleveland. I'm a Cavaliers fan. I wasn't like a LeBron fan. So, you know, fuck the Lakers. Sorry.
I like the Lakers, but I like the Lakers since I was a child, you know, from Magic. So that's all to the good. Remember, I grew up in Memphis. Memphis didn't have an NBA team until well after I was gone. So I was just like, anybody can get it. That's just what it was when I was living, saying where my support was. Well, that being said, who should the Browns pick? Who will the Browns pick? And any other team you can't give a damn about sharing their draft prospects in?
Well, I'm a big proponent of a trade down.
Okay.
But that's generally my thought because I love value, especially when it comes to like picking random ass people in a sport where like having more opportunities to pick random ass people is a benefit when you like can't guarantee anyone will ever amount to anything.
Yeah.
So you get more chances to having someone amount to something if you could just pick more random ass people. So like I said, I have not watched any film. I watched like 2 YouTube videos that were like 5 minutes long each while I was laying in bed late one night when I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
On Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter. Okay. So that is the extent of my film study. Everything that I think I know has been read from other people who I feel know more than I. So from what I have read, it sounds like the Tennessee Titans are going to take Cam Ward, number 1 overall, the quarterback out of Miami. And then it sounds like the Browns have to choose if they're going to pick either Travis Hunter, the wide receiver / cornerback out of Colorado, or they're going to go with Abdul Carter, the defensive end / linebacker out of Penn State. The Browns definitely need offensive players more so than I think they need defensive players.
Yeah.
I don't think they should take Travis Hunter to play him at cornerback. We don't really have a need per se for that, and I think a wide receiver is probably more valuable to at that high of a. If I'm picking 2, I want like a impact receiver. I don't necessarily want a cornerback.
Yeah.
That being said, Abdul Carter is probably the best player in the draft, non-quarterback. Even if you include the quarterbacks, he's probably the best player in the draft. And pairing him with Myles Garrett would be fucking incredible. So I don't know. Like what I saw from Travis Hunter's video, some of it was like I liked, but like I don't know if it was because I'm not a huge Shedeur Sanders guy, because I didn't really like the way some of those passes that I watched in that video, those felt like NFL interceptions. So it's like it was hard for me to judge Travis Hunter based on that because he did make some crazy catches, but like he also seemed kind of like small, and his NFL combine profile made it sound like he's easy to get jammed at the line and shit. So like he's definitely not like a finished prospect, but he like I don't know. The reports say he has elite traits, so I don't know. But if it were me, I'd have a hard time passing on Abdul Carter. But like the Browns fucking desperately need a receiver. But also, you start to think about it, you're like, well, who the fuck's gonna throw him the ball? So like, I guess like getting the receiver in place isn't a bad idea, and you just hope that like that helps the guy, because it sounds like they're gonna try and take over a quarterback like with their second round pick, like trade up in the late first or something.
Okay.
There's the names that come with that are Shedeur if he falls, which is apparently a possibility. Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss, and Jalen Milroe, the quarterback out of Alabama, who's like a big project. Like he has physical talent, but he needs like a complete overhaul on how to play quarterback.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Man, I don't feel like projecting, but we suck. So
yeah, I mean the Browns aren't going to do shit this year. Like so, unless if they trade if they can convince Kirk Cousins waives no trade clause and for Atlanta to give him up for a mid-round pick.
Okay.
Then you could probably compete for a wild card maybe this year, but Super Bowl But I mean, hoping for a wild card is better than 2-15 where we've been for a long time.
Yeah. What it is to be a Browns fan. I'm gonna throw that real loose because I'm certainly
if I had been born here, but that's the plight you inherit,
Oh my god!
But it's even more fucked up for me though because no one in my family gives a shit about sports. My grandmother liked basketball, but outside of that, no one in my family gives an absolute fuck about basketball or football. When I go home, no one my uncle will ask me how the Cavs are doing or whatever. They know I like it, and then in the 90s, my family would go to baseball games for my grandmother used to get tickets from the church, so we would go to baseball games and stuff sometimes. But I can't sit here and tell you that my family actually gave a shit about baseball. I think it was just something to take the kids to, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I chose this life myself, which is kind of fucked up now when I think about it. I could have gone any other route. I could have just stuck to the Packers, or I could have just, I root for the Chargers because I really liked LaDainian Tomlinson and those jerseys.
Yeah.
So, but for some reason, I just, I watched the Browns and I was like, oh, well, it's home. I got to root for them. And it just fucking stuck. And here I am, about to be 40 and just fucking football misery.
It is definitely miserable. I didn't put it in notes because again, sometimes I'm just trying to avoid being bothered with politics as of late. But the Ohio House did pass a budget with the $600K for the Brown Stadium in it, but the governor's like, nah, dog. But he's gonna get overridden. He's gonna veto it or a line item it or whatever the shit he does, and they're gonna override it because there's enough people who have voted yes on it that he has no real say. But he can bitch about it, but he knows in the end it'll pass because that's his team, so he knows what they're doing. So they get their money.
Yeah, my one buddy who's vehemently opposed to them doing it.
Yeah,
he says it's if Jimmy Haslam paid for it all out of pocket, then he would shut his mouth.
Sure
but
would.
He's I don't think it's a smart idea to use. And don't get me wrong, he's not wrong.
Yeah,
it's not a smart idea to use taxpayer money to build a multi-billionaire stadium when they already play technically in a stadium, even if that stadium is shitty.
Yeah.
But that stadium is either paid off or is about to be paid off or whatever. So fiscally, it makes no sense to now all of a sudden move to a brand new facility. This is strictly for an ego thing.
Yeah.
Because honestly, they talk about big events coming and this, that, and the other. Dan Gilbert's got an arena downtown that shit comes to. I've been to that arena. I went to a Cavs game there a week and a half ago. I went to a concert there last Monday, and I'll be there tomorrow for a comedy show. How much more fucking space do we need?
You don't. They're lying. It's not that they're lying. They are vastly overestimating what they think they're going to pull into this town. They swear we're going to get a Super Bowl, and I just don't think that's.
No, we won't, because no one NFL fans don't want to come to Cleveland in February.
Yeah.
Even if it is right next to the airport, they're going to be Cleveland. People will come because it's a Super Bowl, but none of them are going to be fucking happy about it. So they're going to fight it the whole fucking way.
Mm-hmm. So it's but we can get what? What can you get that we don't already do downtown? Like I said, at the Rock, you know what I'm saying? It's we do monster trucks inside that goddamn in that arena. Hockey, basketball of multiple sorts. You're just lying. All you do is you get your little your vanity project built in, I guess, at home where you in Brook Park, Ohio. So
hey, watch the Ix, all right? That's my neighbor.
You don't fuck with them. You barely fuck with where you at.
What?
Sir.
You're crazy
Sir.
talk.
Sir.
I chose to live here.
You love your house. Had you been able to buy that house somewhere else, you would have.
I don't know. Like I picked this location because it was next to two highways. It was next by my family. It was by my friends. It was affordable. There was a lot of perks to living over here.
Fair enough.
And now my house is worth like almost 2.5 times what I paid for it. So, America.
Anyway, but yeah, I built this house to what? Like you said, it's fiscally irresponsible. It's bullshit to fucking put that on the state of Ohio's taxpayers. It's everything about it's terrible, and as well as the team that it's supposed to house. So it's like there's no uptick to this, not a one.
With all that being said, though, I don't want to sit outside to go to football games.
I know you told,
but I also don't go to many football games, so I am a poor representation of the target audience for this venture.
It's some whole shit, and we all know it. But they gonna get their damn stadium, and there it is. So fuck it. But who knows?
My thing is, it's like, all right, they put out this whole budget where like they're talking about how they'll put up themselves all this money, this, that, and the other, and it's like, oh, we want like $600 million to come from the state, and it's like, you'll put up like 2.4 million. I don't even know what the fucking total is, but it was like something billion.
Yeah, and
I'm like, you own part of an NBA team, you own a soccer team, you own an NFL team. You sold like the biggest oil company in America, and like you're paying like a dude like $250 million to not play for you. You can't come up with another $600 million to just finish off the goddamn project yourself. You're gonna make everyone jump through all these fucking hoops for something that you could just like go cash a couple bail bonds or a couple bonds and sell some coin, like some silver, and fucking do this yourself.
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
I said I wouldn't go get political. There I was getting political, but it's sports politics, so you know what I'm saying. Some whole nother other shit.
It's not politics. It's just it's fucking finances. There's a difference.
Fair. We will allow for it, but yeah, fuck the Haslams. DA and Jimmy can piss off.
That video does look real good though. I'm kind of like wondering, like if they go through with the whole thing. And they've like built up like condos and like I think the condo thing is kind of stupid if I'm being honest, because it seems unnecessary to have a condo right there. Like, you're next to the airport. There's no park there. There's no lake there. Like, you're really all you're doing is trying to take Crocker Park and move it next to the airport, and then put a football stadium next to it. So then my thought is like, all right, if you manage to pull this off, how does that affect Crocker Park? Which I was just reading an article the other day about how like Dick's is moving out of there because their lease is up, and all these like restaurants are closing like abruptly, like Bar Louie and Dave's Hot Chicken's out of there, or Hot Chicken Takeover, where the fuck it was called. They left. So like some of the residents were kind of like, what's going on? And then they're like, oh no, this is an exciting, like the owner of Crocker Park was like, oh, this is an exciting time because now we can bring in new owners and new ventures and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, this sounds like someone who feels like the noose tightening and they're just trying to pretend like they're not choking.
It's like, what are you going to put in a space the size of Dick's that's not already in real short reach around that area? Because like they have, what is that one in Avon? It's not Dave and Buster's, but it's a Dave and Buster's-esque situation.
Entertainment 75 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck it is.
Or Scene 71. I don't know, some shit like something word with a number.
Yeah. So it's like we already got one of those, and like I said, in spitting distance of what you are. There's no other large store that's going to take that footprint. It's too big. It's dumb. Y'all, it is about to be a recession, and just be ready for it. as best you can. And I don't know what to say.
It's already here.
Well, I know, but you gotta call. Yeah, it's they gotta call it, and they've been like recession.
I know they ain't called the race yet, but like recession's here. Recession's here now. Recession's been here. People just ain't been wise to it.
Hey, so you be ready for that this repeat of 2008 all over again, because
oh, dude, my fucking financial portfolio took a hit the other day.
And so okay, so like fuck it, here we are, it's going down, people. None of what we say is financial advice, don't take it as such. I'm just telling you some stories, okay? We just sharing you some tales. So of course the market drops trillions of dollars, which is bonkers numbers when you think about it, based on these tariffs that this knucklehead thinks. And the worst part is the math is bad. He thinks tariffs is something different than they are. All of this shit, and nobody's correcting his ass. Nobody's like, no, bro, that's not what it is, because they want him to feel smart. Because if he doesn't feel smart, he's more of a brat. So it's like they let him do this dumb shit and make these presentations and like, yeah, okay, fuck it. 145% tariff on things we get from China. Well, guess what? This nation gets everything from China. You're fucking us. Because it's not like China pays it, we pay it. It ain't like we not gonna stop and not pay it. It's bullshit. Market drops trillions of dollars. Just on the rumor that maybe he was going to do a 90-day cut, the market swung up for a hot second. And he was like, okay. He's like, nah, bro, nobody said that. So then, of course, yesterday when he actually does say, okay, fine, 90-day reprieve, the market goes back up. But then they was like, oh, China said they not doing what? Oh, shit. Market back down 3.5% today, 3.5 points today. Well, the S&P 500 at least. It's whole shit. It is making me a little bit insane, because it's not that we have to be here, but people voted for it. They said, I want that guy because I think he's going to do well for us and bring jobs to us and kick all the brown people out, and that'll be good because, then us white folk can be happy again. It's like, well, here you are. He is kicking brown folk out, but he also ain't got you a single damn job. And in fact, he done fired him a bunch of y'all. So what's that? We're going to bring manufacturing back to America. Let's say that it's the case. Let's say that's the actual case. We're going to bring manufacturing back to America. How long it take you to build a goddamn factory and then tool that bitch out to make it build whatever the fuck you think is build it? Decades. This doesn't work. The world works because we trade with each other and have been trading with each other since goddamn the fucking Queen was sending fucking privateers out on boats. It's how this works. And this idiot don't get it. It's making me insane. I already thought retirement was going to be tough for me, but now you're just sinking my fucking battleship, my nigga. And like, yeah, you probably won't retire. It's bonkers.
Yeah, I looked at my 401k yesterday, and I was like, ooh, hopefully that $9,000 comes back soon. I looked at my stock portfolio. I was like, ooh, hopefully that $5,000 comes back soon. Looked at my crypto, if I had any. Man.
It's stupefying. And people seem to be recognizing it a little bit, but then there's so many other people who are like, no, man, he's playing checkers, he's playing chess, not checkers. Boy, he is not even playing Go Fish. Stop it. It's a bunch of people, it's a bunch of idiots who, like I said, they know what it is. They like, man, this man, they know what it is. He'll pass the bullshit they want passed if they just kiss his ass. These businesses are like, man, he will fucking just get rid of regulation that we think is fucking up our bread. The people who are like, anti-abortion are like, he'll make it so that the country no one can have an abortion. People who are just racist are like, he's kicking out the brown people and look at him using our words about Jewish people and Islam and Muslims and so forth. And they know he'll toe their line if they kiss his ass. And so they're just doing that. Not that they have any faith in him, not that they believe in him. They just like, if we do what he wants, he'll do what we want, and we all win.
I'm sorry.
Go on.
I took that meme of the tea thing that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
And I screenshot it and cropped it down, and I put it in my Discord with my buddy who I was just talking about the stadium thing.
Yeah.
He replied to it. The Brook Park Dome is just like the Tea Party, paying shit against our will.
Tis what it is, people. Okay. I'm going to wrap you guys. We didn't really talk about the draft. Go Browns. May you be successful in your measures. And we'll get to a show here in a little bit. There, I talk politics. I said I wasn't going to do it, and I did it anyway. Okay. You want to see a dead body? Instrumentals from my mama's Christmas party. Troubles on my mind. I still smell crime. My little brother crying. Smokers repeatedly buying my Sega Genesis. Either that or my auntie was stealing it. Hit the pipe and start feeling it. Ooh, weed cut me some slack. Weed never did that. This was different. Geez, Louise, please help me relax. Quantum physics could never show you the world I was in when I was 10. Back when 9 ounces had got you 10. And 9 times out of 10, niggas don't pay attention. And when it's tension in the air, 9s come with extensions. My daddy turned a quarter piece to a 4.5. Took a L, started selling soap fiends, selling fiends bubble bath. Broke his nails, misusing his pinky to treat his nose. Shirt buttoned open, taco meat laying on his gold. I said, Daddy, one day I'ma get you right with 36 zips. 1,000 grams of cocaine, and your name will be rich. Now you can rock it up or sell it soft as leather interior. Drop some ice cubes in it. Debo on perimeter. He said, son, how come you think you'll be my connect? I said, Pops, your ass is washed up with all due respect. He said, well, nigga, then show me how it all makes sense. Go figure, motherfucker, every verse is a brick. Your son dope, nigga. Now reap what you sowed, nigga. I was born in 87. My granddaddy was a legend. Now that same shit y'all was smoking is my profession. Let's get it. Welcome to it. It's episode 570, and we ain't holding your refund, okay? I'm your host, Entertainment 713, joined by the other host, the eBay Emperor himself, Lunchbox 20. Nah.
In the podcast.
That was Nostalgia, to Pusha T song, but that was a Kendrick Lamar's verse on it. You should listen to Nostalgia. Okay, go through that song one time, and then go listen to the Dissect podcast episode breaking down Nostalgia, and have your life changed by how crazy that song is on all kinds of levels.
Are you saying it as nostalgia, or
No.
is it like no-nostalgia?
No, it's nose as in cocaine nostalgia. I'm not mispronouncing. That's just the name of the song, Nostalgia. And man, it's a good song. And then you hear about, like I said, like when you hear Cole Cushner and everybody break that song down to like just its constituent components, you're like, that's crazy. How did they come up with a song like that? And it just makes you just impressed by writers who can write. But we out here. It's episode 570, and standard fare. Got a couple of news stories for you. Got some Mamma the Assholes. Box will tell you what's been going on in his world this past week, and or a story of your whatever you choose to talk about. Do I got anything popping today? I got to throw a couch out tonight. That'll be fun, which means I had to run over to the my city's refuge situation, because they like, look, throwing out something big, it's got to be in a bag, and then they sell you the bag for $3. So I had to go slide over there, go cop that bag right quick today. But that's about all that's going on with me. Not a lot, people. So, you know what? I did have some stuff going out. So when I get to tea time, I'll tell you a little story. It'll be lovely. You'll enjoy. But right now, let's do a little news. Got two stories. This one, I don't know. I just was like, what's going on here? So I was like, I pulled the stories like, well, fuck it. I'll just read on the show. Check your BMV record. New Ohio law now in effect eliminates some debt-related suspensions. The deadline to lift suspensions is May 9th. This is from WEWSCO, just Channel 5. And Tara Morgan is on the byline. A collective sigh of relief for tens of thousands of drivers in Ohio. Some debt-related license suspensions are now eliminated under a new state law that went into effect today. I'm looking the wrong way. I'm sorry, people. Down the barrel. Here we go. More than a year of reporting by News 5 investigator Tara Morgan and Morgan Puente with the Marshall Project Cleveland captured the attention of lawmakers, bringing some of the changes. We took a close look at the impact and found You can lose driving privileges even for stuff that doesn't have anything to do with driving. It could be a clerical error or even ditching a court hearing. Some people who have 2, 3, or even 9 suspensions on their record, missing child support payments is also one reason for a license suspension. State Representative Darnell T. Brewer worked on House Bill 29 to help people get back on the road legally. Not just work, education. Think about the doctor's appointments. Think about just going to a family visit, maybe out of town, who weren't able to do that, but get their lives, but to do that, weren't able to do that, but get their lives back together. That's a weird sentence. Representative Brewer said. Brewer says he knows they get to this day, but not this fast. He says his office phone has been ringing off the hook from people expressing gratitude. Someone just called to say thank you for House Bill 29. And it wasn't even from my district. It's from Montgomery County. I had another state rep show me a text from a judge who said thank you for House Bill 29 that helped him with a lot of individuals in his rural community, Brewer said. Under the law, license suspension for not paying court fines and fees will be eliminated. Financial relief is expected with changes to the license suspension law. That is retroactive and without having to pay BMV reinstatement fees. School truancy is removed as a reason for license denial or suspension. It also allows people who have had suspension for failing to pay child support to file a motion with the court for driving privileges. Drivers should go to the BMV website and check on their driving record to see what they need to take care of and to make sure their address is current. That should speed up notifications about suspension removals. Brewer said his office is working with libraries to help people come in and print out BMV reports. He also plans to hold license suspension workshops. The deadline to lift suspensions is May 9th. The caseload isn't known at the time. The BMV says the courts need to let them know which suspensions to release. The BMV says once it has a better handle on the number, it will make an operational adjustment necessary to ensure a smooth process and responsive customer service. So that's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? That's a decent bit of law here in Ohio. Look, I'm gonna be real with you, man. If you don't pay your child support, I think you probably do need to have your license suspended, or something needs to get your ass right. But for everything else, like, don't just be taking my license because this, that, and the third. Uncool. So I'm glad
I've known a guy who owed like back child support, and every now and again, like he'd go to jail for like 30 days or something.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
But it's just like it seems kind of counterproductive because if he's in jail, he can't generate any money to pay back the money he already owes. Yeah. So like, who you really benefiting there?
Yeah, at that point, I don't agree with jail. I don't agree with jail for a lot of things, but definitely not for back child support. Like I said, you can suspend a license and try to force the issue. But yeah, putting them in jail means what if they had a job? They probably ain't got it no more after 30 days in. So come on, bro. Respect on people's names. This one I think is always fun. Being boxing and all us used to go down and kick it at this shit. And I'm glad it's coming back around. Downtown Cleveland's daily food truck series kicks off May 1st and rolls through summer. Our food truck series creates an engaging environment in parks and public spaces near office buildings where people can connect with each other and the city. Douglas Stratton on the byline. Spring and summer are so much tastier thanks to Downtown Cleveland Inc.'s popular food truck series. Spring up every day of the week at one of 5 different locations. While we worked down there, it was only Wednesdays, and it was called Walnut Wednesdays. There has never been a more convenient time to snag a creative, delicious meal from a food truck. Our food truck series creates an engaging environment in parks, public spaces, near office buildings. I just read you that because that was in the byline, but it's also here in the story. Explains Michael Deemer, Downtown Cleveland president and CEO. It supports efforts to bring employees back to work. I don't like that. Recruit and grow businesses, attract new residents, and welcome visitors. The combination of local cuisine, live music turns in downtown into a destination, not just a place to clock in and leave. A high-quality public realm experience is critical to downtown success and is central to our 2025 action plan. The fun kicks off May 1st and continues to clear through the end of September. A rotating roster of more than 50 different operators will activate various parks and plazas, ensuring that every appetite is covered. The schedule is as followed. Memorial Monday takes place at Fort Huntington Park, West 3rd and Lakeside. Food Truck Tuesdays takes place at Public Square at Rockwell in Ontario. Walnut Wednesday takes place at Ralph J. Perk Plaza at East 12th and Chester. That's what we used to go to. Truck Stop Thursday takes place at 1 Cleveland Center Plaza at East 9th Street and Sinclair. Okay, where the free stamps at. That's where that's got to be at. Oh, no, because then that's the free stamp. So the free stamp is East 9th and Lakeside. Wait a minute, where's Sinclair at that I'm not drawing it up in my head? Anyway, entertainment provided by local DJs and musicians will provide the soundtrack to breezy alfresco lunches. I know you're like, man, T, that's like wait a softball ass story. But I really loved being downtown Cleveland in the summertime. We walk down there, hit up a couple of different food trucks, pay far too much money for sometimes amazing, sometimes not amazing, never gross, just not amazing food. And it was really a nice part about working in downtown Cleveland. But one of the few things I think I could say straight up I miss. And I don't know. One day, I mean, I have a lot of days. Well, the days I have off are all for reasons. So I can't, nothing. Next day I got a day off, I can just say I'm going to slide out. But maybe. we'll see what we can do. But those are your news stories for the week. Govern yourselves accordingly. And that's what's crackling. Oh, shit. I was not prepared for this. It's when I hand the rings of the show over to Box. Look, he has a whole little video package that we play before that. Watch.
I hope it's like the Wonder Years where like you got me like playing in the front yard by a white picket fence, and then like me looking lovingly into like my crush's eyes as I kiss for the first time, and then all of a sudden I'm getting on a boat to war.
I thought it would involve books in some way, story time, but damn.
Yeah, I mean, I guess reading Rainbow works too.
Boxman, what's the good word, bro? What you been up to, or what tale do you care to share?
So Saturday, I went to a pre-release for the new Magic the Gathering set, and was there for a couple hours. And the night before, my brother had come over, and he talked about wanting to come over the next night to like grab dinner and hang out or whatever. Mm-hmm. So when me and my buddy left the event, I had to call him like 6 times. I'm not even kidding, because like he works like a weird shift where he works like 1 to 11, and he only works 4 days a week. He works 4 10s. So like on his off days, sometimes he stays up like all night, and then he sleeps all afternoon. So like he sometimes doesn't even get up until like 7 p.m. I don't understand how he does this, because then he works the next day. So I'm like, how are you like sleeping till 7 p.m. and then like going to work the next day at 1 in the afternoon? Like when he said he sometimes only sleeps like 4 hours. I'm like, how the fuck do you do this?
Yeah.
Probably the Adderall, that would be my guess. But but anyway, so he finally picked up. Like I came home, and I think I watched last week's episode of Daredevil. Okay. So I came home, watched Daredevil, and then by the end of Daredevil, he finally picked up the phone and came over, and we took him to this Japanese sushi like buffet place, and because he never been there before, and he came over the night before, and he wanted me to order sushi because he really likes sushi. Yeah. So I was like, well, if you like, I'm like, this is pretty solid buffet sushi, and they have all this other stuff. So we went there, and meal was like, fine. Like it wasn't crowded in there. We were there around like 8 o'clock at night. I think they're open till 10. Mm-hmm. So we ate and everything, and then the bill came, and I usually pay, and then he just sells me money. So I grabbed the check, and I looked at the bill, right? And it had like the cost of like our 3 meals and drinks, and then it had like the tax, and then it had tip. I had a 12% gratuity included. Yeah. And so, because like I was going to tip cash, I had cash in my pocket, but I was like, all right, well, you already put 12% gratuity on here, so I'm like, I'll just leave that. So yeah. I go up to the register, because I had to pay the bill up front. So we go up there, and I give them my credit card, and it took a few minutes because the first credit card reader that they were trying to run my card on was like locked up. It wasn't like reading, none of the buttons work or anything. Mm-hmm. So the lady had to go grab another credit card reader from someplace else, and she brings it back to the counter, and I'm watching her, and it's not like a point of sale system where they had like our table or whatever on there and they could just pick it. She literally had to type in the information from the bill into the credit card reader. And so she typed in the amount that was on the credit card slip, which, like I said, included the food, drinks, the tax, and the tip already.
Mm-hmm.
So then she printed out like a normal credit card slip for me to sign. And so it had the total that she keyed in there, but then it prints with another tip line. And so I'm just like, well, you're not getting me twice. So I did the normal like slash through the tip line, sign the thing, here you go, because like I'm like, I already, the tip's in the amount that you typed in here already. Yeah. I'm not double tipping. And I was started thinking, I'm like, I wonder how many people don't bother to look at the fucking bill and they end up tipping like 30% because like if you're like an over, like I normally like in a situation like that, I'll tip like 20%.
Yeah.
Even if like all you did was bring us each like 2 cups of water and take our plates off the table, I still understand that going out to eat like that is like a luxury thing. And, you know, I don't know how much foot traffic you guys got. As long as you weren't rude or shitty and the table was clean and we had drinks when we needed them, 20% minimum, I'll give it to you. So, like, I understand that I said it was only 12% on the thing, but I get kind of irritated when, like, we were a party of 3.
Yeah, there's no way you should get
there's no reason that gratuity should have automatically been included in a party of 3.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, you wanted 12%, you got 12%. This is all you're getting out of me tonight.
Yeah.
So, but I wonder how many people that go there don't look at the receipt, get tip into the bill amount, and then just tip on top of, and like so it's like if they have my principles of like I say at 20%. If they don't look at the bill, they're tipping 32% on this, which if you have like a family in there, that's a substantial amount of money.
Yeah. That's lightweight trash. I'm glad you caught it. That's kind of dope. You know what I'm saying? Well, of course you're saying you're going to go over. You're not going to just not. Why would you not read your receipt? But there's enough people who probably don't.
There are some people who just the bill comes, they throw the credit card thing in there, and then they're like, here you go.
Yeah.
Like you could, like I always look because there's been times where I've gotten other tables' bills was completely wrong. You know, yeah. And so it's like I want to make sure that I'm paying for what I paid for, or like, you know,
yeah, for sure,
because it could be less, but it could be more. Like I'd like to see what I'm getting charged for.
Nice.
But so you know that happened there, but like the funny thing about it too was this is a moment I'm proud of myself for. My brother wanted ice cream. That was part of like why he wanted to come over because he's like, oh, we should go get ice cream from somewhere. I'm like, well, I'm not really trying to eat ice cream, but. You know, you come over.
Yeah.
So they had like an ice cream station at this place, but like there was no one manning it. Like it used to just be self-serve.
Yeah.
But I think like during COVID, they shifted to where like if you want ice cream, you got to go over there and have like a station worker give it to you. Mm-hmm. But like it was like I said, it was late at night and it wasn't crowded in there, so there wasn't really anyone over there. And he's gotten addicted to Dairy Queen. So I was like, fuck, if you guys want, I'll take you to Dairy Queen on the way back home. And he was like, "Oh, that's all you had to say." He's like, "Let's go."
Say less.
Yeah. So you know, we go to Dairy Queen, and my one buddy like hands me his debit card to pay for them, and he's like, "You just get whatever you want." And I was like, "Well, I gave their order to the drive-through guy, and you know, we go up and pay and everything. I hand him the debit card back, and then like they hand out the ice cream in the bag. I hand it over, and he's like, "You didn't get anything?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, I exercised self-control for one of the first times in my life, and I did not get any ice cream.
I feel like Dairy Queen makes it easy to exercise self-control.
Dude, when you have a food addiction and, you know, like, it's hard to pass up, like, a fucking Oreo Blizzard with brownie bits in it. Like, but, like, I'm trying to be better, and, you know,
Reese
like...
with extra Reese, if you're wondering.
I just said what I said because that was what they both ordered, so it was fresh in my mind. But like it could have been anything, you know. Like, like, so it's just like I exercised some self-control, so I was proud of myself there because, like, don't get me wrong, like I would have loved to fucking smash some ice cream. Like I love brownies, like I like ice cream, but say it took a lot of willpower for me to not just be like, oh no, fuck it, it's fine. We're out tonight, you know, it's a one-time thing. But like that's the thing, it's like small victories, man. Like. I managed to say no. I didn't buy anything. I held off, and you know, like I'm proud of myself because like that doesn't always happen. Like I make mistakes. Like I'm not perfect still. You like little victories, like one battle at a time.
Yeah. We certainly celebrate the wins. You know what I'm saying? Tell me more about this Magic situation.
I didn't do well. I didn't really know all the cards because I'm not as invested necessarily as I was back in the day.
Yeah.
There's an interesting story to come out of this though. But yeah, it was sealed. Basically, you get handed 6 booster packs, and you just make a deck out of that pool of cards.
Yeah.
So I built I was having a hard time kind of hammering down what I wanted to do, and I ended up with this red white deck for round 1, and it started out weird because I won the die roll, and so I went first, and then me and the opponent didn't do anything for the first 2 turns except play lands.
Yeah. And
then on the 3rd turn I played this rare enchantment, and he just immediately conceded without ever playing a card other than a land, and I was like, all right. And so then the next 2 games, I kind of could see where I went wrong building my deck. And he won a bunch of long games where he drew extra cards and did a bunch of shit that I just couldn't do anything with. So I lost that match 1-2. And then I ended up playing the guy that I brought to the tournament with me in round 2 that lives with me. And I kept a 1 land hand on the draw in game 1, and I know for a lot of people this makes no sense what I'm saying, but
this for those who do get it, you get it. That's okay.
I kept a 1 land hand on the draw in game 1, where everything in my hand could have been cast if I had drawn a 2nd land, literally everything.
Yeah. And
I never drew a 2nd land before I ended up conceding the game 7 turns later, and so then I won game 2, and then game 3, we were going back and forth for a long while, and I got kind of pissed at the end, and it wasn't the outcome of the game wasn't why I was mad. I was mad because we had an interaction where I played this card, and I had set it up to where I was gonna I had to play it a turn earlier than I wanted to. Mm-hmm. But I had it set up to where if I got to take another turn with it, I was basically going to be guaranteed to win the game. And he played a card on the end of my turn that I had to tap out to counter because it was going to get back an answer that I knew was in his graveyard to deal with my card that I played. And then he started saying some shit well, I guess I lose now. Feigning weakness. When I'm tapped out, I can't, he could literally do anything he wanted. And I couldn't do a goddamn thing about it because I had no mana to do anything. And he starts this shit where it's oh, well, I guess I'm just going to lose. Hopefully I draw something. And then he plays this fucking dragon card that blows up the thing that I had on the board that would win me the game, which is fine. But it wasn't he told me it was in his hand already.
Yeah.
So he didn't need to say all the bullshit that he said, acting like he was going to lose because he had the fucking card in his hand already. So he was just saying shit to say shit for no fucking reason. So I got kind of irritated, and because I'm it felt showboaty or some shit. It felt unnecessary. It felt like unnecessary fucking rub-ins when it was already in your hand. If you beat me, you beat me, but you don't need to fucking pull that shit.
Yeah.
So I got a little irritated, but then this is where I felt old. So at that point I'm 0-2 and I'm not playing for anything because the way the tournaments don't work the way they used to back in the day, where you used to it'd be 5-6 rounds for a turn for one of these kind of events, and the winner would get a booster box and shit like that. Now they kind of try to make it where everyone gets something. So even if you don't win a match, you get a booster pack. So it chops the prize pool off at the top.
Yeah. Where
you're not really playing for a whole lot. You get the product that you pay for because you get to keep everything in the seal pool.
Yeah.
And then you're basically just playing 3 rounds to hope that you win 5 more booster packs. So even if you had no wins or 1 win, you got 1 pack. If you won 2 of the 3 rounds, you got 2 packs, and if you won all 3 of your matches, you got 5 packs, like of prize. Yeah. So at that point, I'm 0-2, and I'm literally gonna like round 3's coming, and I'm not playing for a goddamn thing because I get 1 pack either way.
Yeah.
So I didn't really want to play the 3rd round, but he was playing for the 2nd booster pack, so like I was gonna be stuck there for an hour anyway. So conceding like did nothing. Like it just meant I had to sit around for 45 minutes waiting. So I was like, well, fuck it. If I have to be here, I'll play anyway.
Yeah.
So I get paired against some younger kid, and it was like surreal to me because like at this point in my life, I'm the old head Magic player.
Yeah.
I'm the like the back in my day guy. I am the past his prime Magic grinder that like I'm the middle-aged sage, like, you know, I'm the guy that like people look at now and they're like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like I like kind of like, and so like I'm sitting down across from, and he's not like a kid. He's like probably early 20s, maybe late teens.
Okay.
But like he's very clearly the new age Magic grinder of sorts. Yeah. Like he plays like a kid who fucking reads everything, plays all the time. Like he's playing fast. He knows what all the cards do, even though they just came out last night. He clearly like is experienced at the game because he knows what all the different like keywords mean. He has that confidence about him in the way that he draws the cards and moves shit around. Like he knows what's up. Whereas I've played other kids there that like were clearly newer to the game and didn't have as much experience. So all their movements are kind of slow. They look like they're second guessing everything. Like they don't know what half the shit means. And, you know, they're afraid to do stuff because like they're unsure what might happen. And this kid was very, very clearly confident. And we're talking, you know, like we were conversational during the match as much as we needed to be. But then, like, after the match, like, we were talking more, and he asked me, like, what I play, and I told him that, like, I really don't play hardly much these days, that, like, I was more so, I quit, like, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, I told him kind of, like, when I quit and, you know, whatever. I didn't get into details about what I used to be as far as, like, accomplishments, because that's what wasn't what he was asking. But he told me that his dad started playing in the same block that I quit in.
Yeah.
And that he started like the block after. So he's been playing for about 11 years now. And and he was talking about like, you know, how he likes to do like these other formats. And I told him that like I was considering getting into Legacy because then like I don't have to worry so much about like the cards becoming obsolete so often. Like you have your staples that are pretty much like guaranteed to be good forever. Yeah. So it's like you can put money in those and like come back to it 6 months from now, and like you can guess that like they'll still have some value. Whereas like the newer formats, shit changes all the time, and you know stuff goes up, down. Like there's just too much movement. You know, like for someone who's not playing consistently enough, it's too much of an investment to try and do that. So, he told me about like this other place that I used to play at back in the day, and I was like, oh yeah, I used to play there. I know Marcus, and he was telling me how they do like RCQs, which I guess is like the new age version of PTQs kind of stuff, which is how I got on the Pro Tour back in the day.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to me because he had a play mat. Like most everyone plays on a play mat. Like I carry one with me, but I don't always pull it out. And he had a play mat in front of him, but it was like it was an Attack on Titan play mat for like the cartoon.
Yeah.
And I don't know that they have like a card game or anything. And the playmat had like signatures all over it. So I was looking at it and I'm like, what the fuck is all like, who signed all this if there's no card game? I'm like, did he get like voice actors to sign it or something? So I asked him, I was like, hey, what are all the signatures on your playmat? And he told me that all the signatures on his playmat were all his friends and that the one on top there was his girlfriend's. And I couldn't help but laugh because me and my friends did something similar back in the day where my one buddy had a card from like one of the Urza sets. It was called Massacre.
Yeah.
and he had all of us sign it. So in one of his binders is a card with all of our signatures on it. So it was like the new age version of the shit that we did 20 years ago sitting in front of me. So it was almost like watching like a younger, more in shape version of myself. So like it was kind of like cool in a way, you know.
Fuck yeah, it is. I love, man. One, I love your stories, but I love stories like that because that's like very, very kick ass. You're an unk, man. You're MTG unk.
Yeah, it's funny because I always wonder if like any of these people that I ever play against, and I don't think any of them, like a couple of the people who are there now know that I played on a pro tour because we talked about it when I started playing up there again last summer.
Yeah,
but like I don't think any of them knew who I was from back in the day. And so like when I play against people now, most of them have no fucking idea who I am. And not to say like I'm important or anything, but I had success back in the day.
Yeah,
like,
you had a run, man.
I did make a pro tour. I did top 64 a couple Grand Prix. I did cash like top, I think it was 32. It might have been top 16. A couple Star City events back in the day. Yeah. Like I had feature matches like on the Wizards website. I had the one feature match that's still up on YouTube to this day. You know, like I now back then I know some people like locally, well in the like the greater Ohio Pittsburgh area knew who I was because like I remember like the one PTQ after I came back from the Pro Tour, I top 4'd another PTQ. And the following week, we played in another PTQ down in Columbus. And because I top 4'd the PTQ in Canton the week prior, my deck list was all over the internet.
Yeah.
And so, like, when I played, like, the next week in Columbus, like, my round 2 opponent knew who the fuck I was when I sat down because they saw my deck list online. And, like, I didn't change anything. So they knew every fucking card in my deck.
Yeah.
And I still won.
Nice.
But, like,
that's kind of dope, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, like sometimes it's matchup based, and you know, knowing the cards helps, but like you know, it doesn't guarantee anything. But it was just like that was the first time where I felt like okay, people know who I am to some degree.
Yeah,
you know, they might not. I wasn't like a household name or anything, but like I played against people who like ran fucking Magic the Gathering for the last few years, like the guy who was head of like the band and restricted list and like development and shit, who just like he just left to go back, like he moved with his wife to like I think Korea. He was from Canton, and I used to play against him at local tournaments all the time. I sat with him. I ate dinner with him in Hawaii, like with one of the pro tours.
Yeah,
one of my friends from high school just started working at Wizards back in December. Like I think he's like I want to say like head of communication or some shit. I'd have to look up see what job he took, but he was running a podcast with one of his buddies, and now he started working at Wizards of the Coast again. I've known other people who like worked at Wizards for a long time in like development. Some of them are just I met them through like these people or like casual like acquaintances or whatever, but like some of these people like Cedric, we would pick Cedric up and take him to like tournaments with us. Like we played poker together. Like I used to play like there like for those that know, before Magic Online ever existed, there was like a Microsoft program called Apprentice where like you would like connect like the other person and you would play like with like Microsoft painted versions of the cards and shit. Like Cedric and I would be talking on AIM and playing on Apprentice playtesting and shit. Nice. So like I've known Cedric for like 20 some years now. Like, you know, we were closer back then when we were around each other all the time. But like when I would see him at tournaments, you know, like 10 years ago, we would talk. And every now and again, like we'll say something to each other on Twitter or wish each other happy birthday on Facebook. So it's not like, you know, we're like texting buddies or anything. But like I've known him since like fucking 2002. And he works at the fucking company that makes the game. So it's
I'm saying you got folk on the inside. Maybe they holler somebody like, hey man, what y'all hiring for over there?
I don't think I have any interest in that ever.
You know better than I. So if you don't fuck with it, I can't say nothing about it. But still,
I like playing, but I don't think I have any interest in game design. And I'm I don't feel like I'm promotional type. And like, I don't have any cachet to be like all of a sudden like a commentator. Like those roles are reserved for people who either been commentating forever or are former pros that like now commentate, you know.
Fair. You hear they're making a movie?
I did see that last night. One of my friends sent me that. I saw that and I wrote back. It was in a group chat, and I was like, "Man, I hope Garrick's cock is huge." I was just fucking around. Like Garrick is like, how do I put it? He's like a giant mammoth wildebeest kind of. Like he's like he controls like the creatures of the forest kind of dude. So he's like a George of the Jungle looking motherfucker, but he's gigantic.
Jungle looking motherfucker. Yo, George of the Jungle looking motherfucker. That amuses me to know it. That's your alt title. Oh man. Well, there you go, people. Like I said, don't you love a story about box? It's a delight. I'm always interested in them because they're fun. Plus, that's the homie, so that's what's up. A spot tea. So if you recall, I told you like my kid had a court last week, and I thought I'd share with you the adventures of court, and also me and Vanessa went on a double date, and that was kind of interesting too. So. So my kid had been pulled over for doing 110 miles per hour on a motorcycle at 4 a.m. one morning by a state trooper. Luckily out there is whatever. This occurred in the confines of the city of Cleveland, which means this goes to a Cleveland municipal court for adjudication. Also lucky, the state trooper dropped it just below what would have been like, I got to take you to jail situation. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, we're going to write this much on this motherfucker. Okay. And because my kid is smart and also hangs with a bunch of, you know, people who drive and bikes and cars and the like, one of his buddies was like, oh, I got a guy. You should definitely go ahead and get him because he got this changed to this for me. So yeah, it was something that he got to change to like a headlight for me, and I'm like, that's crazy. But we get to court, we get there early. I'm like, I go, getting there early kind of does really nothing for you because of course they're gonna call you when they call you, and because I've been at traffic court before in Cleveland. We get downtown, it's impossible to find a place to park. But then less impossible because like we end up, if you know the parking situation downtown, we end up parking all across from what was once the Stark building, and there's a garage right there. That's where we end up putting it in there, walking over to the court, getting in there, hanging out, logging, you know, go up to the table. They're like, all right, let them know you're here, and then we sit around. Eventually, they're like, all right, M through W, last name this courtroom, everybody else that courtroom. And we waiting. His lawyer's not there. I'm like, what the fuck is this dude at? So Xander, I'm saying, he don't fuck around. He called dude, hey man, where you at? And he's like, don't worry, I'll be in court. I'm like, I don't like that, but I mean, you know what? I'm going to trust this dude because whatever you pay for him. So if he don't show up, it's a problem. And we all start piling into court. And of course, like I said, court is wild because like you might be there and you think the alphabet will be the king, but it's not. It's basically like, the first person they called up there was a woman who was there with her mother in a wheelchair. And so they're like, all right, we don't want this poor lady in a wheelchair having to be here all damn day. Let me get her taken care of. So you up top. So the magistrate, because it's a magistrate, not a judge, when you're at this level of court, is like walks you through the whole process. And actually I was actually very, I'm not happy is not the turn of phrase, but I was like impressed that he walked these people through, I think in real plain English, what this means, what the various pleas could mean, and so forth and so on, and why you want to be whatever. And the lady's about to say something, be like, hold on, before you say anything, I need you to know everything you say in this room is recorded. And immediately she caught herself and was like, You right? And it was just like, hey, I'm just gonna ask you about this. I got another ticket that same day. Can we make this all one big case? And he goes, I don't know. We'll see. But before that happened, even this is something I noticed. I noticed a guy walking around. I'm like, that's definitely a lawyer. And he just slid into our courtroom, walks up to the magistrate. They clearly know each other and have a rapport and a relationship. And he's like, oh, where's your case at? Oh, your case in the other room? Don't worry, we'll bring it over here. Come over here and get that case for me. I'm like, bitch, what? You could just, bruh, the other side live a lot different. I want you to know that. Why do I know that? Because my kid's lawyer shows up. I hear him say, and, oh, Jesus Christ. Well, I said that live, but I'll edit that out the show. But they say my kid's name, and he's like, okay, you guys will be next. Like, what? This is a room full of people, but because he has representation, he's next. He gets to be number 2 in this whole bit of theater. And so he goes with their next, and because they have a prosecutor right there, the lawyer does not say a word, Box, not a single thing. The prosecutor just leads to my son and says, you want that to be a seatbelt ticket? And my son wisely like, yes. And so what was a possible license suspending situation, points on your license situation, maybe even jail if you think about it, and all the fines that come with it become court costs and $50 for a seatbelt. My son was driving a motorcycle. Y'all ain't no seatbelt on motorcycles. Everything about this is bullshit to me. Happy that my son had representation, because it was a wise thing on his part to make sure he has somebody to watch his back. Sad that so many people in that courtroom did not have the same luck of the draw. They are going to go through some bullshit. They're going to pay way bigger fines. They're not going to get let off with seatbelt because they can't afford a lawyer. My kid can. He works hard, paid for a lawyer, paid with his own money. I didn't have nothing to do with that, and I respect him for being able to do that. But I also hate that the system is set up in a way like that to really just fuck people.
Well, you got to figure too, it's more beneficial for them to keep us on the road. That way, they can get more tickets out of us. Because if we've shown that we're willing to commit like crimes for traffic violations, I should say, once, that means we're doing it again. So it's not beneficial to them to get us off the road unless we're like DUI-ing or something. But if we're just speeding or not wearing seatbelts or we have a taillight out or whatever, court costs, baby, because it's basically the same amount of fine, and they can throw us right back out there and get us again next week.
So, biggest day on the dais for the judges sitting, it says court costs start at $141. So the base my kid should be paying is $141 plus $50, right? We go pay the fee, go pay the fine, $150 even. Even the sign there is a lie. Even everything about this is lies. I'm just like, this is bullshit. But also, I'm glad my kid got away with this. Not got away with it, but he, like I said, did what he's supposed to do. Had representation, and a prosecutor who could have said, nah, we fighting this bad boy, was like, oh, seatbelt. Natch, sure thing, bud. Well, lady, because it was the lady's prosecutor. And so I was like, yeah, I'm both proud and happy for my kid for not having to go through court about an hour when it's all said and done. Which what, like I said, for a lot of other people there, they was going to be there all day. You know what I'm saying? And have to go through process and try to get bread and so forth. Try to get their bread up if they don't have money. And it's like, I hate that. I hate looking at the rest of that room and knowing they weren't going to have a lawyer that knew the magistrate. They weren't going to have a lawyer who just had to stand there. Didn't do, not like I said, I'm here to the lawyer and to the magistrate and the bailiff, and was like, okay, you're next. But that was it. That's what that man did that day. He showed up, was just present, and that was enough to sway the law to my kid's side. And that's, I don't know. It's both. Yeah, that's my boy, but also it's very disappointing to me because, like I said, I know other people in that room did not have that experience that day, and that fucking sucks to me. But that was crazy. That same night, Vanessa's friend Kate was like, "Hey man, let's go out." She has a new, not new. She has a boyfriend. If you listen to my podcast that came out last year, or maybe the year before now that I think on it. Wow. My buddy Jeff had passed away. Well, this is Jeff's widow, and she's out here, dating, and she has a boyfriend now, and I don't dislike him. It's just
by the tone of your voice, it sounds like you do.
No, because I don't have any feelings toward him. I miss Jeff, and it's weird seeing Kate with somebody that's not him. But we went and hung out and double dated. Went over to get some Thai food because I was really like, Vanessa was like, "Where are we going for this dang double date?" And I'm like, "We can go to this place that just opened up around the corner over here." But then I go look into it, and I'll tell you about it when we're off mic. And I'm like, they whole setup was like dumb, and I'll tell you why after. And I was like, "Oh, but you know what? I could go for some motherfucking curry. Your boy loves some Thai curry, y'all." And it's a restaurant around the way over here that does a nice bit of curry. So we went over to Brown Sugar and had curry and hung out and had some good wings, solid wings, not great, but real crisp. Rangoons that I was not appreciative of. Good design. They look real pretty, but far too sweet. I don't want a sweet Rangoon, you feel me? And again, I had the green curry, a little spicy. I'm saying there's a nice heat to it. I'm saying some white rice, lovely. And just kicked it and just talked the talk. I told them the same story I just told you about my kid getting away with murder, but not really, but still, and so forth. And so, yeah, double dating like a grown up, wild. I gotta tell you, that shit is crazy. But it was nice and just hanging out and chatting and being adults. And they came and hung out over here for a little bit and told us about because Kate recently went on a trip on a cruise that hung out in Mexico, and she went to a part of Mexico that I've actually been to before. And so we got share tales of that, and that was lovely. You know what I'm saying? So Chichen Itza is a pyramid in the Yucatan, I believe, kind of down by there by Jesus Christ, what is the name of the city you go to Mexico to kick it at down there? Cannot remember to save my life, y'all. I'm old, so forgive me. But nowadays it is fully barriered off, and you cannot go hang out on and in the pyramid. But back in my day, and that was, I want you to know, in the year 2000 is when I went.
In the year 2000,
I literally climbed up those stairs of that pyramid, and they had a guide rope on there because the stairs are super. The step is super small, if you will. This is for little feet people that don't exist anymore. And like I said, I've been on the top of that very pyramid that people are no longer allowed to touch or set foot on, which I think is so neat that once upon a time I was able to have that experience. Cancun is the area that I went and visited from. We kicked it in Cancun, and we had an excursion that took us to Chichen Itza, which is like a couple hours away when it's all said and done. And so, like I said, we got to sit and share tales of our experiences in that region of the world, which, like I said, lovely, man. Like I said, I had a real good time. Again, her boyfriend is fine. He's just a good guy, got kids of his own, and so forth and so on. A divorced guy, and so I get it. I understand it. I just like I said, I'm not gung ho about him, and I probably would never be. And there's no knock against him. Me and Jeff talked video games every time we hung out and talk just bullshit and crack wise and so forth and so on. And that's just not the kind of guy this guy is. And so it's never going to be our relationship or whatever situation, but still, that is what it is, and that's how it gets down sometimes. Well, that's just a little tea time. That's what's been going on in my realm and world. And like I said, lovely. It's a vibe, and life ain't so bad. So that's what's up. But each week we slide on down to the mean streets of Reddit, and then we delve deeper into the subreddit. Am I the asshole? And we read some of them and let you decide, and we decide if these people are assholes. So hey, let's push a spin on that. This is me a dumb meme, y'all. Here, let me pull up your selection of this week's Am I the Assholes. Box, you tell me which one goes first, but also, of course, you let me know which one grabs you the most. Am I the asshole for removing all phone tracking from my parents who keep using it to see my location for non-emergencies? Am I the asshole for pretending to think beans and chili are woke to prank my cousin who is obsessed with things being anti-woke and who loves chili? That one's from a Great Value of an Asshole, AITAH. And am I the asshole for sleeping naked on top of the covers to teach my flatmate's girlfriend a lesson? That look on Box's face.
Yeah, I guess that one.
Do we start there? Am I the asshole for sleeping naked on top of the covers to teach my flatmate's girlfriend a lesson? Due to Reddit, please bear with me. So I, 21 guy, live with my childhood best friend, 22, also a guy, and have done so for 2 years now. Up until last week, things were perfect between us. However, he recently got a new girlfriend, 23, lady, and she honestly seems absolutely great, except for one thing. She seemingly has complete aversion to knocking. She and I have quite a lot in common, and I actually like spending time with her. However, it bugs the hell out of me when she just barges into my room without knocking first. Now, she never walked in on me doing anything untoward. I'm usually just chilling on my bed or studying at my desk. However, on at least 7 separate occasions now, she's done it first in the morning to ask if I want coffee. Why sleep naked? Every time prior to the last one, I've been under the covers and she hasn't seen anything. I always point out that she could have, and she just giggled and says, but I didn't. Oh my God. When she stayed over last week, in order to make my point, I intentionally slept on top of the covers. Sure enough, she barges in at 7 a.m., begins to ask if I want coffee, and sees my you-know-what. She immediately backed out the room and didn't speak to me for the rest of the day. My mate later pulled me aside and said I was bang out of order, accuses me of deliberately exposing myself, and pointed out how I threatened to do it before. I literally said, okay, but what if I had no covers on and you saw everything before? They're now framing this to others that I'm some kind of sick creep who intentionally got naked and lay in wait of her because that's how I get my rocks off. And I'm kind of seeing how it came off that way. Some other asshole for doing this?
I don't think so, because there obviously it was premeditated, so you are a little bit of an asshole, but you weren't in the wrong to be naked in your own area. So technically no, but it was premeditated, asshole.
Yeah. I don't know if you've pushed it far enough to be like, yo, please knock. Because like I said, 7 times is far too many. And so after 2, it should have been like, oh, let me get you right. Because like I said, 3 strikes out, and now you let it go on. You let the game keep playing. And so you are correct. It is dumb that she keeps doing that. And she shouldn't be doing that again in you guys' space. That is kind of fucked up. But also, come on, man. You knew what it was. But bet your bitch don't. I mean, I'm not to call her bitch. I try to be better about that. But I bet she never do it again. Unless she, was into it. And then maybe she'll keep doing it. I don't know. I can't call it. Not the asshole. She knew it was a risk when she barged in. How is she not the pervert? Also, have you considered getting a lock? For real, my guy. Consider it. Unfortunately, the lease doesn't allow it, bro. Then just put a door stopper on that bitch or something. I don't know. But I don't know. Then if it's a fire, you know what I'm saying? What do you do? Door jammer. See, I just said that. Personally, I prioritize my privacy strong. Let's see. Let me scroll down. It seems like she's a creep, constantly barging into your room, knowing you sleep naked. Start telling people you're creeped out, that she seemed intent on catching you naked. See how she likes it. Keep in mind, I'm a total a-hole, though. The part where he mentioned she giggled and said, but I didn't, is what gets me. She is definitely aware of what she was doing. Fucking creep. Wow. We're not playing around. Fair enough. No, I don't think this person was an asshole. I think he was asshole-ish in his methodology, But no, man, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to get foods to act right. And this is the results of that. You want woke beans or you want tracking?
I'm honest, woke beans sound stupid, so I'll go with tracking.
We'll wrap with woke beans. I think woke beans is hilarious. Oh, I'm an asshole for removing all phone tracking from my parents who keep using it to see my location for non-emergencies. Here's the situation. I, 24 female, am married and live in a different state than my parents. I've had iPhone Find My Friends app since I had a phone at 12 that my parents set up. When I got married, my husband found it strange that my parents could see my location once we moved out. But I just figured they want it for safety. Come 2 years later, my brother, 21, who still lives with my parents, gives me the heads up that my parents were judging my actions based on my location. I figured it would be a good time to remove the app anyways, and thus delete their ability to see my location. This blew up into a whole situation where my parents are now saying that it was providing them comfort and safety to know where I was, and it was just a mishap and a bad day for them. Additionally, my dad decided to retaliate and remove my access from all streaming services he paid for, and he threatened to remove my brother from the Wi-Fi for tattling as well. I'm the asshole for removing them from seeing my location. My husband has never heard of parents seeing their kids' location once they move out, and my parents seem to think it's the end of the world. Just want to get other people's thoughts. Thanks. There's an edit after this, but taking just that. Is this person wrong or an asshole for, getting rid of Find My iPhone from their parents? 24 married and lives in a different state.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Edit. Thank you for all the advice and thoughts. I originally posted as I've heard of other families sharing location as adults, so I feel like the odd one out for not wanting this. However, you guys have helped me realize that this is not normal. Additionally, I want to make mention that I am completely fine paying for my own streaming services and already pay for the ones that don't allow sharing on my own. This is the only thing my parents had been providing financially. I brought it up as a point of their reaction to help provide context to the situation. Yeah, it's whole shit that your parents immediately sought to do something vengeful against you for simply saying, "Hey, man, I like my privacy." And so your parents are clearly assholes to me. Not the asshole. Even when you are under the impression that the tracking feature would only be used for strictly safety-related reasons, you had every right to stop using it because you're an adult with a right to make your own choices. Once it became clear your parents were using the apps to just kind of judge your life, any remaining reason you may have had to keep it switched on went out the window. Keep it as it is and don't look back. And this is a shiny comment. OP should spend a day taking the phone for her taking the phone for a day her parents will remember. Just enough time to have a pin, at least 4 strip clubs, gun stores, weed dispensaries, specialty clinics that make them freak out based on their beliefs. Jesus Christ. Oh, Reddit. Don't ever stop. All right, Box don't think this is going to be funny. I thought it was hilarious. Am I the asshole?
Nick Cannon hilarious?
Nick Cannon is hilarious. Am I the asshole for pretending to think beans and chili are woke to prank my cousin who is obsessed with being anti-woke and who loves chili? My cousin is known for making chili, and he's good at it. Makes his own chili flakes from his own secret combination of various dried chilies. It has a very nice kick. It's like the perfect amount of spice. It's hot, but not too hot. He also always adds kidney beans, not canned beans either. Anyway, for the past 2 or 3 years, my cousin has become obsessed with all the bullshit about what it is or isn't woke and how woke things are the end of the world. He's always been a good dude, so I don't know what his bag is, but he's completely obsessed, and it's annoying. So the other weekend, I was at his place, and he was making his famous chili. So I got the idea for a little prank. I was like, "I'm surprised you still put beans in your chili." He was like, "What? Why?" I was like, "Beans and chili are so woke. Everybody's saying so." He was like, "What do you mean?" And he was like genuinely concerned, as if this was something serious. I said something like, "Yeah, beans and chili are woke. The original conservative Texans who made chili only used meat and chili. San Francisco liberals started adding beans to chili in the 60s because so many hippies were vegetarian. Now all the woke scientists are saying beans are better protein source than meat. He didn't say anything to that. I kind of just assumed he'd know I was fucking with him and get the joke. We always fucking around with each other and jokes about it all. But he was quiet all dinner. Just yesterday, I went back at his place and he was making his chili again. There were no beans. It was a totally different chili. The guy has been making his chili without beans has been making his chili with beans for like 15 years. I was like, what's up? Where's the beans? He's like, I don't fuck with that woke shit. I was like, what? He was like, beans and chili are woke. Even you know that. Everyone else was like, what? Because what? I was like, dude, I was just fucking with you. He got really angry. He dumped his chili in the sink and told everyone to go home. I thought he was pranking me back or something, but he was serious. The dude totally lost it. He texted me later and said this exact thing. I researched this online, and it turns out you really were lying to me. Beans are not woke. How could you do this? We went back and forth for a bit. His position is even though we have historically pranked each other, I went too far that I betrayed him, and I made him question his chili. I tried to ask him if this at all made him think he cared too much about woke. Like, what if beans and chili was woke? So what? He ignored that and demanded I apologize. Did I take this too far?
I owe you an apology. This one was good.
No, you're not an asshole for this. It's fucking hilarious. Man, I feel bad for your cousin. This is where he's locked himself into this particular thing. It's like, because someday it's gonna be somebody not your cousin that loves you and is like, hey man, I'm fucking with you. It's gonna be somebody who's really like, oh, watch me fuck with this guy and tell him something that he really loves is woke. And you know why he shouldn't get down with it. The fact that he managed to whip up San Francisco liberals and beans was pretty damn great, man. So that one is hilarious.
I mean, I know I get tired of those fucking San Francisco liberals.
First comment, that's fucking hilarious. He's so damn fixated on what other people say is woke or not woke that he'll sabotage his own cooking. He handed you the material to prank him on a silver platter, and he needs to get over it. Next, say reacting badly to a joke is woke. Demanding an apology is woke. If he reacts, say reacting is woke. Oh, God. Anger is woke. And that's what feminists do. Real men are into empathy these days because that'll show those woke assholes. Now, we all need a beefed up dude who seems super unsympathetic to preach this. Another glow in the dark comment. I cosplay as a disgruntled vet in public. Also, I can happily Alex Jones anything for a laugh. I just can't fake the energy that all the pay me, I'm a vet type. Oh, veteran is what he meant. I thought he meant like, animal doctor. Pay me, I'm a vet types have. And I can't stand being on camera. Besides that, though, I'm your guy. Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know why it was glow in the dark, but still. All right, this last one makes me laugh. Pooping is fine. Wiping is woke.
Yeah, I mean, that's what a bidet is for.
Oh my God. People, that was your Am I the Assholes for this week. I hope you enjoyed them. Let's venture into entertainment this week. Gotta tell you, man, where am I at in entertainment? I've been playing Alan Wake. Like basically that's been what it has been, Box. I just really been on my Alan Wake tip a lot. And so like I just would get done with work, do some dishes or get some food going or whatever, and then like I'm saying, and then just go sit on this couch and play Alan Wake. And so I've been just having a great time doing that and playing that game. So I have not watched anything. Today I've talked to you, the listeners. I've talked to Box about it, everybody else too, about a series of books called the Murder Bot Diaries. Well, Murder Bot is getting an Apple TV show, and the trailer went up today, so I got to check out the Murder Bot. Man, your phone is clicking right now, or whatever. Your group chat popping. Oh man, that bad boy was. But yeah, Murderbot. The trailer went up for Murderbot, which the show comes out. I think I feel like it comes out in like the summer, but the trailer went up today, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, boy, I cannot." So that, of course, made me go and grab the most recent Murderbot books because I have read them, but I was like, let me read them up just because I'd like to check them out again. And you should check out the Murderbot Diaries. There's like 4 or 5 novellas, 2 novels. There's like a magazine story, you know what I'm saying? That was in I think Wired maybe. So there's a lot of Murderbot that can be had. And you can see if Murderbot is something you want to get down with. And Murderbot is what it's called because the robot named himself Murderbot. It's just that's how he has that name. And I don't like that they got a standard white guy to play Murderbot under the costume because it's just if you listen to the books, it's just not what it would be. In fact, I'd probably tell you it'd probably be somebody more Indian, Southeast Asian looking underneath that whole situation is what it probably should be. But what are you going to do? You get an actor who you think is going to make it be famous and fit the bill. But if you read the books, you'd be like, their Murderbot ain't the same. But I'm excited for it. I love those books, and it's a lot of ways they can take it. And I am excited to see what they do with that. So that's about the only thing. Like I said, I pulled the book down today, and I got started. Here, I'll pull up my Libby here. Sorry, that's taking longer to load than you think it would. Okay, I'm going to close Libby and reopen Libby. Sheesh. Fugitive Telemetry is the one I'm on right now. Martha Wells is the author of those books, and like I said, they're super great. I think you would fuck with Murderbot if you are into sci-fi and hard sci-fi because it takes place well into the future, but it has lots of things that explain, how stuff works in that future. So that's about it right there. Yeah, no, I hadn't listened to anything out of normal. I have not, like I said, I have not watched anything really. I just been on this Alan Wake shit, and I like it. Boxy, about you, man. I got your list from last week. I'm gonna rattle off and tell you if they all still count. Resident Alien.
New episodes of that aren't out, so I already,
So you caught
that.
All right. Reacher.
Finished it last week. Okay.
Yellow Jackets.
I am current. I think there's like 1 episode left for the season that will air tomorrow.
You said earlier that you caught up with Daredevil.
Yeah, I watched this week's Daredevil today right before the show.
Very good.
I watched like 3 more episodes of Invincible.
It was the next one on the list.
Yeah, so I think I have 3 episodes left. I today watched all 7 episodes of Suits LA. While I was working. The 7th episode, you don't even have to watch the show if you were a fan of John Amos. John Amos must have it was in like the first episode.
Yeah.
And he must have died while they were filming the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Because the 7th episode was basically just a tribute episode to him.
Okay. Like
post-mortem. So if you like John Amos, I recommend watching Suits LA's episode 7. You don't have to watch the rest of the show. The rest of the show doesn't fucking matter. I doubt the show will last longer than 1 season, but who knows? Maybe, But yeah, John Amos fans, watch this episode 7. I feel like I watched something else too, but I don't remember what it was.
Was Long Bright River a movie or a show?
It was like a miniseries.
Okay, so that was done.
Yeah, I watched that whole thing.
Found Irrational.
I think they're both on like their season ends or whatever. Because I think Found had a new episode last week that I did watch.
Okay,
but I think Irrational's done for the season.
Okay.
I saw today that Poker Face is coming back on May 8th, I believe it was. Okay. So I texted my dad. He was very pleased to hear that.
Cool. You know what I did watch, and I watched it just yesterday. Once again, TikTok served me up a scene from House. So I ended up watching House Season 8, Episode 14, Love is Blind, which starred a young Michael B. Jordan as a blind man who was suffering seizures and acid visions, acid trips and stuff like that there and so forth. It's a wild ass episode. House found out his mom was had gotten married and to the man he thought might be his father because they both have a tattoo on their penis. So I've watched 2 episodes of House, mind you, both of them because of TikTok and sent me to them. And so this is just wild. And then the one, you remember the one Asian actress who was in all like the Seth Rogen flicks? It's like a goofy Asian lady, a little short, kind of. I'm saying if you saw her, you'd be like, I know her off the rip. She was in all the various, like, she was in Knocked Up and what you call it and so forth and so on. You know her. You'd be like, oh yeah, she was the one who just hung out with all those guys. She plays a doctor in I guess in that season of House. And because Michael G. Jordan's character had been doing acid, that is how you consume acid, right? Dropping acid? I don't know. They had went to his house to see if they found anything. And
talk about this lady?
Yes.
I have no idea who the hell she is.
Oh, well, like you said, but you know her, but like not that you know her name, but you would like, oh shit, it's that lady from, you'd be like, it's the lady from Knocked Up. Because that's exactly what I was like.
Apparently her name is Charlene Yee.
Yeah, well, Miss Charlene Yee played, like I said, what got me the scene on TikTok was her being like, he's got to be doing some illegal drugs. And they're like, why do you say that? Because I'm tripping balls right now, or whatever she said. So that was hilarious. She was tripping because, of course, he had acid at his house. Anyway, I would say now.
On Twitter, Yee accused Marilyn Manson of sexual harassment on the set of House. That's on our Wikipedia.
Huh. I didn't know Marilyn Manson was in an episode of House. Do we know which episode?
Well, she was in 21 episodes. So I guess if you just type, let's see, Marilyn Manson House. I
think that's going to show you his house.
House episode. I'm guessing it's season 3. Season 3, episode 21, maybe.
That's weird because, like I said, I'm watching season 8, episode 14, and she was in there, and I would think she was only would be in only a later season, not an earlier season. But hey, who knows? Either way, I got down with a little episode of House, y'all, and that's because TikTok told me. So it was also a couple of movies that I was like, "Ooh, I want to see these movies."
Okay, it says this article from 2018 says on Friday, Yee, who appeared as a series regular on Fox's medical drama House, said that Manson visited the cast while they were filming the final season as a fan and, quote, harassed just about every woman asking us if we were going to scissor, rhino, and call me a Chinaman.
Jesus Christ. Man. Okay, well, there you go. Marilyn Manson, at least to this woman, a real POS. But also I've heard that Marilyn Manson's a real POS from others, so there you go. We will just keep motherfucking moving when it comes to that. Yeah, I think we've done it all, y'all. So I'm gonna push this button. Please tune in every Thursday, as that's when we typically post these shows, and we also record them around 8:30 p.m. on Thursdays. You can typically join in on the Twitch or YouTube if you want to jump in the chat. Make sure you like and comment over on YouTube. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you want to support the show financially and got a few bucks on sway, consider joining us over on Patreon, where members at the $5 tier get extra content each month and early access to new shows. We also got merch over at tpublic.com/user states Krunchy and Milk, all one word, Krunchy being spelled, of course, with K. And feel free to give us a call, 216-264-6311. That's 216-264-6311. We'd certainly love to hear from you. Crib Officier, a great British Bake Off podcast, returns to form beginning Tuesday of this next week because the Great American Baking Show starts back up tomorrow. We already have three guests, three of the bakers from this series lined up to come and talk to Nick, Jew, and I. So I'm telling you right now, get ready for some of their action. Two of those three bakers have told us or told me that they listened to that show, our show, to prepare for their time in the tent. Bro, we outside. I'm very excited to let you know that. I'm happy to be back doing KP. It's one of my favorite things we do. And I love that it's a part of our little network of shows here. Hey, feel free to give us a call. 216-264-6311. That's 216-264-6311. We'd certainly love to hear from you. I think I already said that, but ain't nothing wrong with that. Our missing man is the 216's own Tatum. That right there is Lunchbox 2099. I am the internet's Taylor 713. I'm asking you, don't make me push you into traffic. We'll do this again next time. Peace.
What happened to your ass? It used to be beautiful.